Okay, I think we're live doing an audio check. Yep, sounds good to me. I'll just get to it. Anytime I'm feeling down, anytime I'm feeling blue, anytime I'm seeking a muse, anytime I'm seeking inspiration for a new video, all I have to do is go on over to the YouTube channel Special Books by Special Kids. And, it's updated like every week. So, you know, um, I'll put that in the, let's see here. Go. Always so inspirational, the stories they cover. I think they have two new uploads. Brock the Star, he's literally 1 in 50 million. He's literally 1 in 50 million. So just go to that channel, Special Books by Special Kids, two most recent videos. I'm not video sharing here because you've just got to be very careful. Some pop-up comes up or you're screen sharing and something pops up with a name. It's a risky endeavor. You really should have a dedicated, which I do, but I'm not on that one now. But you need to always separate your work, your career system from your recreational system, and you know if you're going to do stuff like that, you don't want to. You'd be like Alex Jones, and you get caught looking at the tranny porn on your cell phone. I mean, that was disappointing, but I would say what was more disappointing about that was not the tranny porn. It was the fact that a so-called professional was so lackadaisical that he would use his personal phone in a professional setting. Okay, you've got to separate the two. Okay, it doesn't matter what he's looking at. It could have been a prescription that he was having filled, it could have been a private email to his lawyer. You don't want stuff like that being your laundry, washed in the public. You don't want that in the public eye. But anyway, anytime I'm feeling down, I mosey on over to Special Books by Special Kids for some inspiration, to feel uplifted. And the second one, Sweet Sophia. Never underestimate her. I think this one may be the best yet. I highly recommend you go over to Special Books by Special Kids and check out Sweet Sophia. Um, you may be in for a shock. She has apparently no lips. It's just a maw with teeth. It looks like she bit her lips off. And I think that's actually what may have happened. There is this condition where people try to eat themselves. And so they have to be like restrained so they don't bite their fingers off. And I think she chewed her lips off. That is a real condition. It's like this auto cannibalism thing. I think that's what happened to this person. Um, but the message is the same regardless of how irredeemably fucked up these children are. It's always, well, they may look different, but they have so much to teach us, and we're going to use I wouldn't call it exploiting our children. I'm going to call it using them to advance equal rights. Equal rights. Um, equal treatment for everybody. But I have a solution. Autism, everybody and their brother wants to claim they're autistic because in today's society being healthy is boring. Being healthy means you're privileged. Everybody is trying to one up everybody else when it comes to being handicapped, having a condition. And I can't blame them. I mean, when people are given extra goodies and extra time to complete a test because they're autistic or whatever, who in that type of system, it doesn't help you at all to be healthy. So, um, but everybody has autism, or at least they purport to have autism. Now, one of the hallmarks of autism is the inability to maintain eye contact with others. And I have a solution. It's a new therapy that I've been working on, and what it involves is taking the autistic person to the zoo where they have like a primate exhibit, like great apes, like gorillas. And if you notice, they always have a sign that says, uh, do not make direct contact with the great apes. That is seen as a provocation to like the male of the pack, the male silverback, if it's gorillas, or I think it's even with some other great apes, they flip out if you stare at them. So my it's sort of a cognitive behavioral therapy approach based approach to autism. Um, you have to get people comfortable making prolonged eye contact. And what better way to do it than to stare down a 500-pound violent primate at the zoo? So, what I have them do is get very close to the plexiglass, okay? And I have them open their eyes real wide, okay? Like sort of Clockwork Orange, forced watching the movie. Your eyes are being kept open. You try to make them as big and present them as large as possible. Okay, you want the great ape to see your eyeballs, so open your eyes really wide. Try to like bug your eyes out too if you can, and you get real close to the plexiglass. Okay, and that usually drives the primates fucking nuts, and they start tearing up grass. They start doing their crab walk. Then they start doing like false lunges towards the plexiglass, and then if you keep maintaining eye contact with them, they'll start attacking the plexiglass. And that is, if you can withstand that, some 500-pound animal rushing towards you and slamming into the plexiglass, and you still maintain eye contact, staring the gorilla down, I think we've had a major breakthrough. We've had a major breakthrough. All right. So that is my approach to treating autism. Okay, is to stare down great apes at the zoo. Um, Much more successful than group therapy and things like that. Here, I have I have these autistic individuals stare down violent animals in the zoo. Um, you can also do the same thing if, say, you go through like a bad part of the city, you go through a bad neighborhood, and you deliberately start staring at people. If you can maintain eye contact under those situations, again, that's a major breakthrough. But anytime I'm feeling low, I just mosey on over to Special Books by Special Kids. And just it's so uplifting to see the beauty in the world. You might think we're getting uglier and dumber, but one look at Special Books by Special Kids rekindles my hope for humankind. I just love seeing all of these resources lavished on such individuals. Um, They have so much to teach us. We're actually the primitive people. We're the primitive people, and these are higher life forms. They have so much to teach us. Um, just going to be sort of a bit of a random rant, but that's the cure for autism. It's staring down great apes at the zoo through the plexiglass. Um, I have nothing really new to offer aside from I stand by everything I said. Um, when it comes to women being generally disinterested in men, and all of that evolutionary biology that all of these people promote is such bullshit. And I can't understand how somebody can take Steve Hoka referenced this guy. I looked him up, Rollo Tomasi. Um, you can look at his Twitter page, and he's done some recent YouTube videos. I mean, he looks seriously ill, and I don't know if he is or not. He looks profoundly ill. This guy Rollo Tomasi? I mean, I was picturing some big. He would look like Brutus from uh, Popeye. Big and bearded, and this thing looks like he has super AIDS. I mean, he looks very ill. Um, I mean, that Twitter page, he's fucking ghost white. He's got like stubble. He's got like chapped lips. He just looks profoundly ill. And he's the great sage on how to deal with women. And then in these recent videos, he's like wearing a beanie indoors. And again, this all points to like he is seriously ill. I mean, there's something wrong with him if your head is cold indoors and you're wearing a beanie or a fez or whatever the fuck he's wearing. Um, he just looks he looks like he has Prader-Willi syndrome. Like he's kind of got undefined genitals, Prader-Willi syndrome. Like he has, he's XXXY. How anybody could take life advice from somebody who looks like that is beyond me. Um, but of course, just beating that tribal drum about women are seeking superior genes for their offspring. Everything points to the opposite, and it's hilarious. These people all reference each other in a gigantic alpha male circle jerk. And Rollo Tomasi will be quoted on by some YouTuber, and this will be featured on Chateau Artiste. And these people are they have this cognitive dissonance. They're all about oh, it's the alpha male who gets to breed, and then they'll show some example, and it was and the caption was. Uh, Something like when the bug men begin to pupate. And this is, I guess, a term they've kind of come up with, like a neologism. I mean, I've been saying for years people are getting uglier, and I guess that the canonized recognition of this fact is called not just soy boys, but I guess they call them bug men because they kind of bear a resemblance to a bug. And on Chateau Artiste, they pulled some fat little Melvin's profile photo from his Twitter, and he looked like a bug. I mean, he had the just a blobby face, massive forehead, massive forehead, and a little tuft of hair at the top of his head, sort of like a carrot, and just these thick glasses, sort of like Kyle's Jewish brother on South Park, that really distorted his eyes behind the lenses. And this fat fuck, this disgusting little Melvin, has 4 children. So look, I mean, women are electing to breed with these fuckers. Okay, you may not like it. It may fly in the face of logic. It may fly in the face of everything your teachers told you about evolutionary biology and Richard Dawkins and Charles Darwin with the biggest tortoise, the biggest meanest nigger tortoise always wins. No, that no longer applies. That no longer applies. Um, Yes, perhaps 100, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, women would have been viscerally repulsed by this little bug man. But in 2018, it's the soy boys, it's the bug men who do have women with them. Insofar as there is dating between the sexes or relationships being had and offspring being had, it is by the bugmen. We may laugh and joke about these soy boys, and they are pathetic, they are hideous to look at, but they usually, it's more likely that they will be with a woman than, Brutus from the gym. Brutus from the gym will have nobody. Um, so these people just they relentlessly dispense one dog shit turd nugget of advice of misinformation after another. There's seemingly no way to ever point out enough examples of ugly bugmen with women or bugmen who have reproduced. And no, no, the woman is not sneaking off behind the house to get fucked by her backdoor lover with superior seed. No, the bugman is, unfortunately for the human race, he is fathering and siring these children. And it's people are just going to get sicker and weaker, and I don't know, you kind of got to stop caring, I guess, at some point. Okay, people are going to get sicker, they're going to be just shorter, weaker, uglier. You've kind of got to wash your hands of it and say, well, We take such expert control over how we breed chickens and breed pigs and breed horses so that we can race them. Um, Everybody wants to pay 100 grand for a cup of Secretariat's cum, but we're just gonna. The heart wants what the heart wants. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should have stepped in and said, these bug men, no, they should not be allowed to reproduce. But that would be inhumane. So it's much more humane to allow the general devolution of humankind. That's much more humane than denying a few bugmen the right to reproduce. Right. Yeah, rights. Again, I offer $500 to anybody dead or alive who can bring me a right that I can inspect. Okay, I want to put it up on the examination table, like in a vet clinic. That's cold stainless steel table. When you bring like your cat or your dog to the vet, and I want to listen to its heart. I want to measure it, weigh it. Feel it, feel its lymph nodes. $500 to anybody who can find me a right. Maybe you start laying traps for rights. Um, you know, you can lay traps for rabbits, you can lay traps for, skunks and squirrels and rats and mice, but, try to work on developing a trap for a right and then bring me that right and I will give you cash on the barrel for that right. It'll be like trading beaver pelts, okay? Going up to the Klondike. I'll give you $500 for those beaver pelts, but it's a right instead. Rights are harder to come by than Bigfoot. You'll never catch a glimpse of a right in the wild. You'll never find the remains of a right. They just don't exist, people. Um, um, mm, but again, there is nothing new to be said. So, but people will keep promulgating this horrible bad advice about alpha, fucks, beta, but all these hackney terms. I mean, women don't need your money. They don't need it. They have their own jobs. They have their own lucrative careers. And like I said, I would be, I would be swayed. I would be swayed by their arguments if I started to see women drowning their retard babies in bathtubs. If we had like a spate of accidents where en masse we saw retard babies having mysterious accidents, like they drowned in a bathtub, they drowned in a piss bucket, they drowned, they fell off a swing set. I would start to be swayed by these evolutionary biology arguments. But so long as I keep seeing women taking 10,000 photos of them with a big honeycomb monster smile on their face as they're holding their little retard baby. No, you're not going to sway me with your Charles Darwin arguments. Okay, these women are beaming about their little monster ghoul baby. Okay, they're not hiding it from the public limelight. They're not, hey, 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 get that camera out of here. They're they're parading these defective ghouls um, on stage, okay, for the whole world to see. So until I either see them disowning them, giving them up for adoption, I'm not buying any of these evolutionary biology arguments. Okay, none of them. I mean, you have to understand that a major reason why we have this uptick in retards and defectives is because of who the women are breeding with. Okay, do you really think if women were breeding with these super studs, we would be having bumper crops each year of retards? But hey, if you're young, if you're 17, 18, and you're looking for, what type of career to get into, you look around and, you can you can capitalize on these trends, I suppose. Um, become a special ed teacher. Because they'll never cut that. I mean, You people want to think Trump is heartless or he's cold. Trump would never cut retard funding. Never in a million years. Okay, nobody will ever touch that. Never. They will never touch retard funding. The same thing for American Sign Language teachers. You see this anytime there's an interview or some politician approaches the podium and he's giving a talk. It's an update on the hurricane. It's an update on this. Off to the side, you'll see somebody throwing up gang symbols like Crips and Bloods. And it's the sign language interpreter, I guess, for the handful, not even handful, for the one deaf person who might be in attendance. Now, I don't know why you have to show this person on television when we have closed captioning, but I guess they've even built a culture around it. So at this point, I guess it would be considered genocide to say, you know what, we don't need sign language interpreters. We have speech to text converters. Okay, it's not 1982 anymore. It's not 1890. So you know what, we have speech to text converters. So um, you're kind of no longer needed. And deaf kids aren't stupid. They're not retarded. They can read a book. You don't need to throw up gang signs all the time. But again, that'll never be done because the uh, the the deaf people would they can't hear, but boy would they throw a shit fit over that. Um, if you want to discontinue and again, how much every one of these sign language instructors in a public school, they make their 55 $55,000 a year. Okay, that's it. It's an easy job. You just throw up gang symbols for a couple minutes. You make 50 grand. You're not teaching AP physics. Okay, you're not teaching. I mean, can you imagine a country where they had like AP astronomy? Oh man, that would be that. Yeah, they probably do in like Korea and China, but this is dumb fuck America. So we got to make sure that those deaf kids can hear about the Holocaust survivor, as the son of a Holocaust survivor speaks at an assembly. Um, Instead of Jimmy Buffett, son of a sailor, it's son of a Holocaust survivor. They're still entitled to reparations from Deutschland. Don't worry about that. Work harder, German man. You got a lot of people to provide for. Okay, you got 125-year-old Holocaust survivors. You've got descendants of Holocaust survivors. Because you have to understand that trauma, that PTSD, it's intergenerational. Okay. They've done the Jewish scientists have done Jewish studies proving this. So you've got submarines, you got nuclear submarines to make for Israel. You've got reparations to make to uh, there are more people collecting survivors benefits, more Holocaust survivors collecting benefits today than ever before, which is interesting. Apparently, they never die. And you've got all of the migrants to take care of. So I think you're gonna have to cut back on that generous vacation, Gunter. You've got to be working at Siemens, okay? 12 hours a day, chop chop. Okay, got a lot of people, depending on you. Um, yeah, yeah, you got a lot of people depending on you. So don't be shirking. Okay, you can't be shirking when those Durkas are counting on you. Um, that's not the stereotypical German we've come to know and despise. Okay, uh, you have a lot of barnacles on your hull, Germany. Don't try to pry them off. Okay, just let them grow. Just let those leeches grow big and fat. Okay, don't burn them off. So, hmm, like I said, if I were ever to see, and maybe people need to make a distinction when we talk. I never said ugly men. Some people have taken this out of context, like, oh, you can be a, the homeless, disheveled, smelly, unwashed man. No, 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 no. Again, that was never what I said. What I said was women do not like physically attractive men. That makes them insecure. They think such men will be philanderers, cheaters, etc. Moreover, what we as a man may classify as, good looking, that's no longer really in vogue. Masculinity in general is kaput. It's out. It's not wanted. Um, like I said, you could take an androgynous, effeminate YouTube male who does cosmetics, does makeup tutorials, and he would be more likely to have sex with women, even if he's not straight or even if he's not interested in women, than some football player, some linebacker, some basketball player. These so-called macho guys, these football players, weightlifters, they are not in demand. Wrestlers, what boxers, whatever the fuck, okay, whatever the fuck you want to throw up as an example of masculinity, boxers, McGregor, whatever. Uh, they don't. That is not appealing to women. Okay, that is not. That is not appealing. Like I said, and I stand by it. Some some K-pop, J-pop boy who weighs 100 pounds and wears makeup and dyes his hair would be more of a smash hit with teenage girls and girls in their women in their 20s than a rugby player. I mean, I'm just trying to come up with examples of, physically masculine presenting looking men. Okay, rugby players. Okay, let's take a rugby player. Okay, women may want to have a photo taken with Connor Murphy, but they also want a photo taken with Mickey Mouse at Disney World. Doesn't mean they want to fuck Goofy or fuck Mickey Mouse. Doesn't mean they want to marry Mickey Mouse. They just want a photo to put on Facebook. That's why you see girls having their photos taken with Connor Murphy when he takes his shirt off. They don't like him. They don't want to date him. They don't want anything to do with him. He's a freak. He's a freakazoid. Okay? He makes them uncomfortable. She just wants a photo, put it on Facebook, and there you go. Okay. Um, yeah, women like emasculated weak men because they are strong now. Again, that is correct. And these people who say, well, no, 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 strong women, you just have to be extra strong for. You just, if she's 5'11", 185-pound volleyball player, you've just got to be even bigger and you've got to be even more of a caveman. If she makes 100 grand a year, you've got to make 200 grand a year. No, no, she likes the fact that she's risen to that position. She likes the fact that she looks like a gym rat. She likes the fact that she is, quote, well educated. She has her prestigious degree. She likes the fact that she is the corporate whore who makes the money. She doesn't want to be upstaged, okay? Can you imagine that? She's been fucking working on her career, her education, continuing education till the time she's 30, 32. And then Mr. Moneybags walks in and he's like, he's got more degrees than she does. He makes twice as much money as she does, and he looks good. That's gonna fucking make her feel so fucking insecure. She's going to be so resentful of that. She's tried and worked hard. I mean, she's gotten the degrees. She went back, got more degrees, got more training. Um, been with this company for 5 years, whatever. Okay, she's committed to it. She's wed to it. If she had a son, she'd sacrifice her son to make it in the corporate world. She doesn't want to be upstaged. Okay, she doesn't want to feel, by contrast, by comparison, she's going to feel like a loser. Okay, I mean, if she has, say, a bachelor's degree, and then, oh, this guy she goes on a date with from Tinder, from OkCupid. Oh, you have a bachelor's? Well, that's nice. I have a PhD. I mean, that's not what she wants to hear. Okay, that's just going to make her feel so fucking insecure. Again, it's the same thing with body type. Okay, say she's in reasonably good shape, she goes to the gym, she works out. You take off your shirt and you're showing, 5% body fat and you're totally ripped and toned. Her jaw's gonna open because she's gonna be, fuck, I thought I was the fit one. And now she's gonna feel she can't eat ice cream, she can't pig out with a Haagen-Dazs. It's just gonna make her insecure. Okay, it's gonna make her feel like her accomplishments, which is what she sees them as. I mean, to men don't care what a woman has majored in, what her titles are, how much money she makes, how much she can deadlift. I don't think any man gives a rat's ass about these things. But to her, that is cachet. That is social currency. That is status. Those are accomplishments in her mind. In her mind, to men, they're meaningless. They're just you just turned that hourglass upside down and you lost sand pouring out of it. Complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. But she's just going to feel like, wow, these things that I considered as accomplishments, this guy's got them all in spades. He's got them all and then some. So let's see. Let's see. Who said I have a beard? I think you're confusing me with Virgin Messiah here. Somebody says I need to lose weight and women don't like bloated guys with long hair and a beard. Well, I don't have a beard. Um, let's see here. Not off-grid prosperity says, by this logic, lots of incels would have girlfriends. Although I don't completely buy it. Well, I think there's more to it. It's this masculinity. When I say masculinity, it's not just your physicality, what you look like. It's you could be an out of shape guy, okay? You could be out of shape. You could have the dad bod or whatever, but when it comes to your personality, you could be very masculine in the sense of what you're uncompromising, you're unyielding. Maybe you have obsessive interests. Uh, and again, we're getting back to that word, supplicator, on the waterfront. I could have been a supplicator. I could have been somebody. I could have been a supplicator. That's what women want. They want somebody, again, all these people with their advice. Women love it when you ignore them. Yeah, they love it when you're the guy in the classroom who goes into the corner with a book and doesn't look at them. Yeah, they love that. They're going to be going after you. No, you're just going to fade into the background. Women want, yes, somebody who supplicates to them, puts them first, puts their family first, puts their friends first, puts their hobby first, puts their career first. Oh, it's choice between I take a promotion in this city or you get a promotion in that city. Well, I guess we're going where you'll get the promotion. Okay, that's what women want. They want the control. So, some of these TFL incel guys who, okay, maybe they're unattractive physically, they don't have those masculine presenting physical virtues. I think it's something in their personality. They're abrasive, okay? They're abrasive, they're not empathetic enough. Like I said, you could be a fat slob, fat, bald, pot-bellied slob, whatever. Okay, you would say, oh, women should be going for him, or at least he's skinny fat, right? Skinny fat doesn't work out, just a dad bod. Well, if he starts talking politics, just to give that example, if you were to say as this hypothetical guy, meaning you don't stand out, you don't have muscles, you don't have this, you would say, you know what? No more, no more immigration. No, no, it's not our job to take care of the whole fucking world. It's not our problems. That's not going to go over well. What is that message? That's one of what? Self-preservation, um, self-interest, putting yourself, your people, your country first. That's not good. That's a masculine way of viewing things. Oh, you support the death penalty for people. Oh, see again, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. That code of Hammurabi shit that doesn't fly with women. Okay, uh, they're all about the empathy, empathy. Of course, these same women don't have empathy for people, hundreds of thousands who perished at Hiroshima, Nagasaki, firebombing of Tokyo, firebombing of Dresden. That's just a footnote in history, and they deserved it anyway. But it's always women who are defending somebody. Well, he grew up in a broken home. That's why he murdered. murdered that elderly couple. He grew up in a broken home. He was never showing any love. Um, so I think it's more than just your physical presence. Okay, if you have that type of attitude of, you know, stop paying for foreigners to breed, stop paying for, getting back to special books by special kids. If you say stop subsidizing the all of these retards, we're good on retards, we don't need any more, they're going to look at you like you're a monster. You know, if you say, look, I don't think the people who are able-bodied should be toiling to provide for the defectives, they're going to look at you like you're a monster. Okay, regardless of what you look like. You could look like, you know, whatever, male model. And if you start saying this eugenic stuff, uh, they're just going to look at you like a monster. They want, like I said, somebody who's, oh, they just look at these retards or these cripples or whatever. Oh, they have so much to teach us. Oh, they're so cute. They teach us to be better people. They teach us to be more understanding. Oh, price tag, schmice tag. So they cost at the taxpayers $100,000 a year in nursing costs. Pish posh. We can afford it. Let me look at the comments here. Oh, but I do agree about losing weight. That is definitely for for health reasons, um aside from the aesthetics, um losing weight's always good. Yeah, that I think what answers the question, why do some oofy doofies get girls and some don't? I think it In that case, I think it does come down to their personality. Like I said, you can look like an oofy goof, but if your personality is abrasive, controlling, it's about you. I mean, you could even have like obsessive interests, okay? If you're not willing to give those obsessive interests up, like, you could be a fucking writer, poet, whatever. If you're putting, if you want to seclude yourself and you're writing your poems, you're taking photographs, and it seems to be taking priority over her and her interests, she's not gonna like that. Okay, she's not gonna like that. Yeah, it could be whatever. You fucking paint little army men or whatever. If it's an obsessive interest, pursuit, that's showing or like I said, your political things. It doesn't even have to be politically, just anything, any social commentary. You'd be like, wow, there are a lot of faggots. Or you let slip, oh, that's so gay. That's so gay. Don't be a faggot. It doesn't matter what you look like. You could be an oofy goof and talk like that, right? That's not Women don't like that. Gays are sacred cows in our society. Okay? Just like in India, the cows are allowed to block traffic, walk and go wherever they want, shit wherever they want. In our society, gays are those sacred cows. They can do whatever they want. There's really nothing they can do wrong. They're a protected class. They're like sacred cows. Um, let's see here. I don't think Somebody says I don't think women believe in history. I don't think they follow history. I don't think they understand history. I think they're so completely ignorant of history, it would floor you just how little they know about history. Um, going through the comments here. Yeah, and yeah, somebody says women didn't achieve their status by organic effort. It was gained by men surrendering their status. Oh, you see this in academia. You see how department heads, university deans, university chancellors, whatever, they're stepping down. The ones who are stepping down are male. And this is professional organizations, okay, in academia, professional organizations for different disciplines. Um, and they have like their head committee, right? President, vice president, treasurer, whatever. All of the outgoing folks are men, and all of the new blood, the fresh blood, they're all women. And this is pretty much across the board. The head of any science department nowadays, it's a woman. It's a woman. And they're just bringing in, it's pretty much exclusively, they're hiring female faculty and underrepresented minority faculty. Um, that's why you have to draw the decision. Look, yes, I've invested a significant amount of my life into academia. I feel I've accomplished. I've said what I wanted. I've done what I wanted. I'm not really leaving things half finished. I was pretty good about that. So the question then becomes, do I want to put in more time, more effort for very little compensation and very little support and very little appreciation, with the pipe dream that one day it'll all work out and I'll be a tenured professor? It's very unlikely. Okay, you have to look at what is happening, and it's diversity and females. Females at the head of every department, new faculty, all women. And you want to waste more time pursuing a dream that recedes faster and faster away from you? It doesn't make sense. So I think you get to the point you just have to wash your hands of it and say, well, that was a wash, and move on. But yeah, all of these positions, all the outgoing people, they're men, and all of the incoming people who fill those positions are women. That is what I see. Um, Going through these comments. Somebody says my videos are the only thing keeping them from suicide. Well, you might want to reconsider it, because nothing in my videos is uplifting. I have many long videos I have to put out, but they would definitely get me banned. I've been careful. I've been a good boy with this channel, because I want to live stream on my main channel, and I get to do that very soon. Because I mean, if I get 45 viewers watching on this channel with 200 subscribers, I assume I could maybe crack 100 on a live stream on my main channel where I have 1,000 subs. So I've been a good boy on that channel, but I have a bunch of really, I don't know what you would call them, too hot for TV, too raunch. Not, I mean, they're raunchy, they're racy. It's just, the things I say in them would definitely get me a strike. So um, I've got to put them out somehow, either. I mean, they get taken down on a different channel on YouTube too, so that doesn't really help. I guess put them out on BitChute or something. But they're long. I mean, some of them are like an hour long. They're good. They're good. I mean, if you like my content, this is like, how they have like colognes, they have like the standard, and then they have the premium, like the deluxe. It's like the certain fragrances are exaggerated. That's what it is. It's like the distilled version. It's the essence. Those are really good. I got some good ones, so uh, I gotta figure out how to put them out there though. Oh yeah, mental illness has been on the rise in society. Homos and trannies are mentally ill along with feminists. And like I said, it is women who will leap to the defense of these people. They would leap to the and that's another way to throw back at all of these evolutionary biology proponents. Um, Women should be against homosexuality. They should be against transgenderism. Why? Because isn't it in their biological interest to have as many men competing for them as possible? Every man that's a homosexual, every man who elects to transition and become a female means one less male that is available to them, correct? Um, they should be, if evolutionary biology is to be applied to humans, women should be the most adamant, most vocal, most strident opponents of homosexuality, gay marriage, transgender rights, transgenderism, because I mean we know it's like 10 to 1 the number of males who opt to transition to become female versus females who opt to become males. So it's not, oh, it's a status quo, the chemical reaction is in equilibrium. No, no, you're ending up with more females who could be seen or should be seen, again, if evolutionary biology is to be believed, as competition by real women. And yet, that is not the reaction that women have. Women love gay men. Women rush to the defense of transgender people. So, how do we mesh these reality with what we should be observing? Okay, these people, they always want to speak about evolutionary biology, and yet you have so many violations to it. Like I said, it is not biologically speaking in the interests of women to have fewer and fewer men to choose from. And you could say, well, although they're just getting rid of the undesirable men. Oh, I don't think so. How do you reconcile that with the women, the chronic lament of women? All the good men are taken or gay. Huh? So let's see here. Yes, I will be relocating soon to the Midwest. Somebody asks. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, it's just what's incredibly strange is, oh, yeah, and this was the thing, they always said, well, gays and transgender people, they just want to be treated with respect. They just don't want to be bullied, harassed, abused, killed, whatever. And that's simply not true. We see that they behave in a very different way from heterosexual people. They do want to force their beliefs and their way of life onto everybody. Straight people were not going around, heterosexuals were not going around and shutting down gay nightclubs and things like that. It was pretty much live and let live when heterosexuals were steering the ship. Now that homosexuals have gotten into power, and that's what's very notable. Heterosexuals just kind of take a job and they take it to get by, have money for a family, and that's it. If you notice, homosexuals are very keen on getting into positions of power. Um, where they have influence, where they have disproportionate influence on things. This was a couple months ago. There was a story out of like the campus news or something, and this was at MIT. And the head librarian, meaning the person who oversees like all 10 of the libraries at MIT, the best technical university in the world, was she transgendered or just a lesbian? Oh, I think her name was a masculine presenting butch. I think she called herself a proud butch lesbian. And she looked like a drill sergeant with a buzz cut. She is in charge of the millions of volumes of books at the top university in the world. Now, again, do you think this is just by coincidence? She just kind of drifted into this position? No. This is what these people do. They seek out the critical points in a country, within an organization, and they try to seize those positions. They want to have influence, they want to have control. And this isn't fear mongering, this isn't conspiracy theory. why do you think you have such a disproportionate number of these individuals, homosexuals, transgenders, and they're in very influential positions? And see, it doesn't matter who unclogs your toilet or who picks up your garbage, okay? Whether it's a gay man who unclogs the stuck drain or a straight man doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a gay man or a straight man who picks up your grass clippings, okay, that you put out by the curb. It does matter who is the university admissions, who's on the university admissions board. It does matter who heads up the art exhibits, who heads up the art museums. It does matter who's in control of Hollywood, because all of those people, they actually have influence over your life and your children's lives. They determine your future, if you get admitted or not. They determine what type of media you get fed for your consumption. Is it something uplifting? Is it something beautiful? Or is it something very ugly? Is it, the 300-pound woman covered in tattoos, body acceptance, gracing the cover of a magazine? Okay, you see how all these people who are, saying, oh, just go into the trades, go into the trades. Well, you're basically ceding control, you're ceding territory to them. And, nature abhors a vacuum. And if you're not going to tell people what to believe and tell them what to think, the leftists will be more than happy to do so. And that is why you're going to get things that make the weekly world news look like, you know, the fucking most trustworthy news source. Oh, it's a 300-pound woman covered in tattoos. And people say she's beautiful. People said Michelle Obama is beautiful. Well, I guess the other great thing was people were saying, "Oh, well, Barack Obama he's so handsome." No, no, he's not. I mean, if you took a Negro actor who, I don't know, Adis Abab, Abib, yeah, the guy they said was going to play um, James Bond. Now, I may not like that, but oh, you want to call him handsome? Well, he's tall, he's fit, he's masculine. Okay, I'll grant you that. Not string bean Obama with his mom jeans and his 2-pound weights. No, no, no. That's just you saying something, and if you repeat it enough, oh, Caitlyn Jenner's beautiful. Whoa, if you say it again and again, you say it enough and enough, people are just. It's the same thing. They have like the Miss Finland is a black woman. I mean, that's bizarre. Miss Finland is a black woman? Oh, she's the most beautiful. No, no, she's not. But see, that's the thing. They leftists, they just secured the critical positions in society. You may think being a librarian is a lowly job, but guess what? They determine what books appear on your shelves. They determine what books disappear in the middle of the night. Um, That's actually a very critical position. They decide what books appear in the children's section. Is it Billy has two daddies, or is it, is your mama a llama? Is it something, kind of wholesome, or is it something with an agenda, something that is ideologically driven? Okay. So again, Aaron Cleary likes to put down teachers. Oh, they exaggerate their influence. Well, actually, the average kindergarten teacher has way more influence than anyone in this chat right now. Your average kindergarten teacher has way more influence, probably than all of us combined. Okay. I have no influence. I can't influence any children. No, I mean, I could maybe stand outside of school and give out paper pamphlets, but these teachers have these children's minds to influence for 8 hours, 10 hours a day with before school and after school activities. I mean, fuck, it's not even kindergarten or preschool anymore. It's starting at fucking 3 years old. Um, So that is what these people do. They are not just like you and me. They're not just like heterosexuals because they are driven by seeking out power, seeking out ways to control others, to implement their vision, and just generally to control others and to be in public and to be in the public limelight, to always they crave attention in ways that heterosexuals don't. But mostly it's a power trip. They want to be in positions of power. Let's see here. Yeah, somebody they're applauding autism in media. Well, one of the hallmarks, or one of the key hallmarks of being autistic is a lack of empathy for others. So again, that's kind of at odds with promoting, oh, we just got to be more empathic. You got to be more empathetic with people. We need to walk a mile in their shoes. Well, that is not characteristic of autistic people. Autistic people are, in a sense, like psychopaths. They don't have empathy for strangers, which I think is good. I don't know why you would have empathy for strangers, but um, I guess let more millions of Chicanos into your country and claim you're empathetic. Okay, let's see. Going through the comments. Yeah, Reagan shut down or defunded the psychiatric facilities, and they used to be fairly nice. They were enclosed like a campus with like wrought iron gates, because these things had been built like in the 1800s, and they were like big sprawling, you know, hospitals or whatever you would call them, and not like a modern hospital, but just many beds. These people could walk outside on the grass, but they were kept secluded. They were fenced in, and then okay, shut them down, and now they're on every park bench and every street corner. That's much better. Um, Yeah, a lot of these mental disorders are bullshit. They just try to compartmentalize and categorize everybody. Everybody, what is your Myers-Briggs personality type? Oh, yes, all 8 billion people on the planet can be easily compartmentalized into one of what, 16 combinations? Uh, no, no. It's just called having a personality. Things that were just seen as being quirky or eccentric or having a personality, now they're, oh, you have a problem. You're a psychopath. You're a sociopath. You have schizophrenia. You have schizoid personality disorder. It's just called being eccentric or having a personality. Um, and on the other hand, things that used to be seen as legitimate mental illnesses are now seen as it's just a way of life. It's totally normal. It's totally normal. If you say otherwise, you're going to go to prison. Uh, so yeah, they have it both ways. They criminalize totally normal. Uh, just okay, maybe it was a quirk, maybe it was an eccentricity. The guy had a weird, he was obsessed with, I don't know, model trains. Oh, now he's got, he's a hoarder, he's got obsessive compulsive disorder, he's got this, that, and the other thing. But oh, gays, lesbians, teachers who fuck their 12-year-old male students, they're all normal. They're all normal. Let's see here. Going through these comments. Oh yeah, somebody says I should speak on gay people always showing PDA and straight couples not touching each other in public. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that. I mean, I've seen it. One time I was at a campus and I saw three gay couples embracing, holding hands, walking, holding hands. And I did not see my entire time there one straight couple holding hands, male and a female. Did not see it. And I saw it, at malls too. You would see two women, and these were not Asian women. You have to sometimes understand different cultures. Women from China will hold hands or link their arms when they walk together. It doesn't mean they're lesbian. These were white women. These were white women, white girls, 18, 20. and holding hands, being affectionate. And it's almost become like verboten. It's become a taboo for straight people, for heterosexuals to embrace, to hold hands, to kiss. Oh, that's so disgusting. Ugh, I don't want to see that. Ugh. This happened to me. I was the last girl that I dated. I was at the zoo in New York City, Brooklyn Zoo, and we had something to eat like at one of the picnic tables, and I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. She had her feet up on my lap, or I don't know. I sat like behind her on the same side of the table, and I was like kissing her or something. And one of the zoo workers, like at the I don't know, at the concession stand or at the gift store, came out and said, "Oh, you need to stop that." Um, and I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, so the parents of the children are complaining." And I said, no, they're not. I said, if it were two gay guys making out, you wouldn't have dared come over and tell me that. Uh, so yeah, it wasn't like I had my dick out and was getting a, you know, I was putting on a puppet show with it, fucking shadow puppets. No, it was, oh, I was like holding her or something. Oh, that's too risque. Come on, it's New York City. These people take their kids to the gay pride parade where the guys are in leather bondage gear. Come on. Uh, yep, exactly. This guy gets it. I have never seen a poor transgender person, to be honest. I wonder what transgenders do for a living. Yeah, funny that. And they always push this message that transgenders are so overrepresented amongst the homeless population that they're more likely to be drug addicts and they're homeless. I have never seen that. You're in New York City and you walk like in the ritzy areas in downtown. You go past like the NYU campus, or what is it, American University. And yeah, I mean, there are a lot of gays, and you can tell, by the way they're talking, or it'll be two guys holding hands. I mean, they're clearly students who attend there. They're walking right in that area, and you're talking a place where the tuition's $65,000 a year. Um, they always seem to have way better clothes than I have. They seem to have better everything. So I don't see them. I don't see them begging for quarters on the street. I don't see that. Yeah, that is a funny observation. It doesn't jive with the statistics that they report. Oh, trans people and gays, they're more likely to be homeless. No, they're more likely to have like a fucking luxury condo, a luxury apartment. That's what I've seen. I do not see these. Oh, they're more likely to be living out of a refrigerator box. Bullshit. Somebody says going to the Midwest at 30 for a man isn't going to do well. Well, I don't think going to fucking New York City at age 30 is a good move either. Um, Besides, I think I can lie about my age if necessary. I can pass for several years younger. Um, yeah, women don't need men, period. Most men are just a pain in their ass. Yeah, yeah, that is true. And no, I don't. Women are not secretly wishing more men would approach them. More men would uh, come up to them in the Starbucks. More men would start chatting them up in the grocery store in the checkout line. That's the last thing they fucking want. Okay? They do not want more strange men approaching them. Okay? No, they don't. They don't want men approaching them at the gym either. Okay? Well, no, I mean, I lived in the Midwest for a very long time, so. And the Midwest is a large area. So, certain parts, you have big urban areas, Minneapolis, Chicago, that Yeah, good and bad. But then you have pockets, way up north and upper peninsula of Michigan and things like that. Um, so I have plenty of experience here. I have been away for quite a while, but I have visited, and it still seemed more healthy than what I'm used to. Not saying it's going to be a cure-all, but it did seem better. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll be that creepy guy hanging out at the mall, hanging out inside Spencer's and Hot Topic, like, how do you do, fellow kids? Trying to make up for the lack of socializing I didn't do when I was uh, a teenager. Women want a high status white collar man. See, again, we this is where we have a schism. Women want a high status white collar man. I disagree. Uh, say that woman is also white collar. Okay, they're both working in something similar, finance or something. You think that woman wants to be overshadowed? Oh, she's just a lowly junior manager, while her husband or boyfriend or whatever, he's a senior manager. He's the VP. Uh, I don't think so. And moreover, say it's completely different. Say she works as a cashier. And you would think, oh, a lowly cashier at the dollar store. She would be, her fantasy is 50 Shades of Grey. Mr. Billionaire walks in and whisks her away. Again, do you know how inferior that's going to make her feel? How insecure? That's just going to be a constant slap in the face that she, by her standards, by what society tells that women need to be in the workforce, that she has failed. Well, this man, he's so successful. He's so wealthy. It's just going to make her so insecure. I believe, again, women generally do not desire men. When they do enter into a relationship, I believe they want somebody that they can cast a shadow on, somebody who is beneath them in terms of economically speaking, educationally, what level they attained, and even physically. Okay, you see these girls working out at the gym. They don't fuck around. They're doing squats and deadlifts. They want a guy who's just kind of got the dad bod, slops around, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. They don't want the women want to be the men, for lack of a better. I mean, that's the most succinct way I can put it. Women want to be the men, and that means the getting the education, having the lucrative career, and having the gym bod. Okay, that's what it means. Um, and then somebody says, "Oh, you're not going to live up to women's expectations in high cost of living areas with a good job." Yeah, well, okay, that good job means you have no time to meet women. Okay, that good job doesn't mean you roll in at 9 and punch out at 5. It means you're working 10, 12 hours a day. Oh, you're working on weekends. When the fuck are you ever going to have time to meet women with that good job? Okay, if you're a doctor or you're a hedge fund guy, you're not going to have fucking time to meet women. Let's see. Oh, women can certainly do trades. They can stand there with the stop sign on the when they have the construction crews and they have the sign that says slow. It's always like a butchy woman holding one. They couldn't just set it down, put it in a bucket of sand. It has to be held. Get one of those nice government union jobs. That's what I recommend. Men should be doing as little as possible. Why put in all of your effort to prop up this toxic society? That is my view. I wouldn't really consider Ohio to be the Midwest. Somebody says Steve Hokel lives in the Midwest. Midwest is such a vaguely defined term. East Coast, West Coast, and then everything in between is supposed to be the Midwest. Ohio, not so much. I really don't consider that the Midwest. Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, yeah. All right, yeah. So people are saying you can't hand out things near a schoolyard. Well, you can't stand on school property, but you can stand on the sidewalk immediately outside when school bell rings. I mean, people were handing out Bibles when I was in high school. Um, take one or leave one. It's not as long as you're not pushy, you're not confrontational. You can just say, "Hey, take a flyer. This is how your teachers are lying to you." It wouldn't be laced with invectives or anything. It would just be, hey, this is how you are being brainwashed. This is how they are subtly inserting, anti-family messages into, the literature that you read. I mean, if a cop looks at that, there's nothing there's no profanity, there's no racial stuff. What can he do? Well, he's talking about, you know, anti-family values in the literature. I can't be arrested for that. Maybe that's what I'll do. I mean, if you're looking for a purpose in life, how fucking cheap is that? You get a fucking laser printer, get some colored, neon green, neon red, whatever, high quality paper, and all you do, you print out some flyers. You go from one town to another, one school to another. You hand out 10 or 20 at a time. Do it every day, new location. You're going to reach a lot of kids. Okay, and you just point out, hey, you ever think about this? Ever think about why why you always have to read this book? What is the real message in the Scarlet Letter? What is the message in A Streetcar Named Desire? What is the message in Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House? It's not a wholesome message. It's always that men are abusers, they're drunks, they're louts, women need to leave their families, women need to figure out things on their own. Adultery is good, adultery is understandable. The heart wants what the heart wants. Well, I'll take that bet. Somebody says if I start handing out flyers talking about that stuff, they'll try to get you locked up in a mental hospital. Well, I would take that bet. I don't think they could do it. If it doesn't have racial stuff in it, if it doesn't have profanity, and it's just appeal to reconciliation between the sexes, having a harmonious dynamic between men and women, cooperation, not competition. I don't see how they could. It's not a threat. There's nothing violent in it. Um, yeah, a man with no kids really doesn't need to do anything. Small efficiency apartment, middle of nowhere, very minimalist, very low caloric intake requirement, so to speak, in terms of money. Somebody says trying to become an avid consumer, but it's hard. I don't know how people do it. Yeah, I can't point to anything that I want. I mean, there's nothing. I can't point to anything. Uh, who was it? Oh, Virgin Messiah. He did his live stream. He said he bought a new car or leased a new car, Audi or a Lexus, some nice car. I would just, because he said like, what's the need? He doesn't need to save money. True, true, but I would just rather work less. I'll take lease or buy a used, car, older, safe, but not into the showing off or it's a sports status car. I'd rather work less. The job sucks. I don't want to do it. Less time I have to spend with fucking retards is better for me. So I'd rather, okay, I won't be taking that vacation. I won't be. Your whole life could be a vacation if you do it the right way. Instead, these people, they work a job they detest so that they can take a 1 week or 2 week vacation where they blow $25,000. Yeah, that's what these people do, and a lot of them don't even make much money. They may make 50 grand a year if they're lucky, and they're taking like a 5 day trip to Belize, and they're dropping $1,000 a day. Oh, it's a resort over the water. Well, fuck that. I mean, I've looked at apartments in the Midwest. Some of them you can get for like 250, 290 a month, and these people are dropping $1,000 a night. It's the same thing with gambling. Gambling. They go to casinos. Everybody wants to go to Vegas. They want to. You got all the Indian tribes, Indian territories, Ho Chunk and what is it, Seneca? I think Seneca Casino here in New York or Canada, and it's always the Indians. The Indians running it, and it's just a place to blow money because people work. They're a slave to their job. They don't like their job and they get only a handful of days off a year. Oh, you get a week off to start and 2 weeks after 5 years. Well, that's so generous. I mean, I have to eat shit, eat shit for 5 years before I can take a 2 week vacation, huh? Um, your life could be a vacation if you do it the right way. Okay, I guess you're not traveling to Europe, which is fine by me. I'm not traveling abroad, fine by me. I don't want to travel to expensive places, which are hellholes anyway. So that's a win-win. I'll take that risk though. I think handing out flyers it'd be I mean all of this internet activism, it's good, it's cathartic, uh, it's just, but it doesn't really reach many people. But boots on the ground, flyers. I mean, you just every town has a dozen schools. A couple high schools, several middle schools. You can't hand it out elementary school kids. That's no, no, no. You would say middle school, high school in particular. And each town usually has like two or three high schools. And you just kind of drive around. Okay, school lets out at 3. Oh, you don't want cops following you? Okay, you leave your car, a couple blocks away. You take a bus there. Oh, I don't have my ID on me. Sorry, officer. Whatever. You're not handing out hate propaganda. You're not handing out the Daily Stormer. Um, you're handing out something that is to promote reconciliation between the sexes, is it not? Instead of this divisiveness, oh, anything a man can do, a woman can do better. This type of attitude, this divisiveness, that it's a competition instead of, again, like what the Asians have. It's harmonious. They work together. It isn't, okay, you're going in a fucking standoff confrontation between each other, which is what it is in the West between the sexes. I don't see how they could, you know, color that as hate or paint it as hate. I mean, or misogynistic. It certainly isn't. And I would not be saying housewife. I don't think any woman should be a housewife. I say get a fucking Roomba, throw it down. There are more important things people in the West need to be doing than vacuuming like a OCD person, getting every crumb off the floor. Okay, full-time mother. Now that's important. That is a commendable position. Full-time mother. Okay. I don't really care if the house is a little messy. Okay. Not a big deal. Let's see. This thing's frozen. Come on. Come on. Come on. Is this? Yeah, we're still good. All right, finally. And on was frozen for a second. Let's see. I mean, it's way more efficient, but you get the same people. You see what I mean? Um, unless you know to look, you're not going to come across this channel. That's the problem. Flyers are you put something in somebody's face. The only people who are going to land on this channel are people who already kind of know something's amiss, and they search for. They use certain keywords to come across to come across this channel. If you're just completely guileless and you don't know any better, you just think, oh, my teachers have my best interests at heart, I should trust them. You're not going to come across this channel. You're just going to keep on blithely thinking your teachers actually care about you. Your teachers actually have your best interests at heart. You won't think, oh, this is just a harmless little book. There's no propaganda in here. Somebody's talking about capitalism is a failure, which it is. But people should realize, for all this talk about the, robotic revolution or automation revolution, you could have one giant combine in the fields, and it's just going up and down the fields autonomously. Um, Food and shelter could all be provided for free of charge. They could be. Okay, the staples. Um, we have that ability to do that. But the fact that we choose not to, they want people toiling. They want people preoccupied. They don't want people to have free time. They don't want to have people to have time to bond with their family or to have a family. They want people preoccupied with make work jobs if need be. Somebody's talking about how much money you need to live off of. Again, I think if you go the minimalist route, and again, there's no shame in getting a government check. Okay, why pay for something that you can get for free? If you can get medical care for free, why are you going to pay for it? You know, um, No, the immigrants here do not concern themselves with are they prepared, are they adequately provisioned before embarking on having a family. They have the family first and say it's your job, Americans, to provide for them. And that's the right mindset. Okay, we need to embrace that mindset. Okay, they're my children and they're your financial responsibility. I like that. All of this stoic, rugged individualism. Fuck it. No, I have the kids. I have my children. I want to spend time with them. And the people, the public, the taxpayers will support them financially. Free lunches. Okay. Tater tots, taco salad, chicken patties. Yeah. Getting caught up here. Almost caught up. Um, no, no, no. See that somebody's again that they have this traditional outlook. Men's duty is to work and provide. No, no. Again, we live in such an advanced society that all of these things could. They just simply want to have people preoccupied. I would say my duty is to teach my children, to educate them, to enlighten them. Okay, to show them how to learn, not just what to learn, but how to learn, and to think critically. That is my duty. Paying for Yeah, the food that I would not feel I would not bat an eyelash if I had to whip out my EBT card. Important thing is that I'm spending time with my children rather than working for Mr. Finkelstein while my kids are, being abused by some Hispanic nanny in the daycare. Oh, they would read random flyers if if you look cool, you can't look like a crazy person, ungroomed, unhygienic. If you look, cool, people would say, "Oh, this guy, what's he about?" If you look like a Melvin or a Square, they're not going to want to read it if it's printed on neon colors. Yeah, they'll take a glimpse at it. Besides, if they don't want to, they don't have to take it. But I'm saying, if you were to do that, just okay, every day hit up a new town or a new school, new high school, 25 a day. I mean, I've been at 1,000 subscribers for months. Okay, I'm not hitting anybody new. Nobody new's tuning in. But if you were to hit 25, 50 people a day, um, you know, uh, there is something to be said for that. Um, or you target the parents. You say, "This is what your children are being taught. Do you know this? Do you know what your children are being taught? What is the message behind this book?" I think parents would read it. Again, people need to commit to something instead of this attitude. Get a productive job and be a good taxpayer, be a good cog in the system. All of these other groups, whether they're racial groups or LGBT groups or immigrant groups, they always have a cohort of people. Radical Jews, Zionists, they all had this cohort who were not concerned with money. They weren't concerned with getting a job. They were concerned with activism. They were concerned with, you know, spreading, new, flyers on the college campus during the 60s, whatever. Um, every other group has some designated faction within that is used to advance its own interests, except for white people, except for Westerners more generally. It's, oh, the immigrants, they lobby for their own interests. Cairo or whatever it's called, Cairo, the Islamic organization. They lobby for their own interests. But white people, oh, you just got to work. You got to work. Spend more time at work. But I mean, I could do that. See how that goes. See, who knows? Something different. You get out, you get some fresh air. Let's see. No, again, I disagree. Somebody says that it's a man's duty to work. No, without work, a man has no purpose. No, you could spend your time with your children, teaching them, being with them. The idea that somehow you have to work for, Mr. Finkelstein at his company to give yourself a purpose in life is ridiculous. I don't care about a corporate entity's profit margin. I don't care. Whether that company fails or not is not my concern. Whether Mr. Finkelstein, the CEO, gets to buy a new yacht is not what gives my life purpose. You should become a welfare recipient. I encourage it. Um, I mean, I was listening to, what was it, Steve Hoka's older video where he was talking about the universal basic income, and it's true. The government does have a universal basic income, but it's for the worst segment of society. It's for people that we should not be subsidizing. Uh, people, single mothers, women who have multiple babies from different fathers. That is who is provided a guaranteed existence for, guaranteed housing, health care, food stamps. And the creative types, the able-bodied people who should, spend their time in creative pursuits, they're the ones who are given a kick in the ass and said, "Oh, you don't qualify. Go and work. Go and earn your keep." And it's the unproductive segment of society that is told to sit around and, yeah, just take a government check. Yeah, if you qualify, okay, I don't encourage you to defraud because that may come back to bite you. But you would be quite surprised. People do qualify. Okay, it's this idea that you have to bilk the system. It's not bilking the system if you qualify, according to how much you make, uh, etc. It's not fraud. It isn't. I don't encourage people to do that. It's if you sincerely do qualify, why not? You would be a fool not to. You would be a fool not to take it. Yeah, Fox News agrees that it's a man's duty to work. Yeah, it's my duty to put up fucking sandbags in hurricane season so some rich fuck whose coastal mansion doesn't get flooded. I would say fuck him. Okay, it's a man's job to be a fire jumper to put out these wildfires in California. So again, some rich prick assholes. $5 million, 5,000 square foot mansion doesn't go up like a cinder. No, not my fucking problem. I'd say burn, baby, burn. Okay. You wanted to live in a tropical paradise. You wanted to live on the coast so you could surf. I guess your house is going to be washed away. It's not my job as a man to do X, Y, or Z. No, I think men should get away from that idea. I mean, one of the biggest problem is that there are no male teachers because it's a stupid job. There are no male librarians. Like I said, getting back to uh, the fact that gays and transgender people, they're really good at f- uh, collecting themselves, moving themselves to the critical positions and spots within a society. It wouldn't matter, like I said, if the person who was your septic tank repairman was gay. It wouldn't matter. There's nothing he can do with that power. It makes a lot of difference if the people making your movies, deciding what music gets released, um, deciding if your child gets admitted to the university, deciding what books are going to be present on the bookshelves at the library, what books disappear, what books get banned off of Amazon, right? As we saw with Roosh. That is power. That is influence. They're deciding what you're fed in terms of entertainment, media, knowledge, news, etc. That is influence. If the gays and lesbians were just in charge of, like I said, something menial, farm work, uh, plumbers, electricians, there's nothing they can do with that. They can't inject their identity politics into a vocation, but they can certainly do that with, controlling the different arms of the media. Somebody says, "What do you enjoy?" I don't know if that's directed toward me or another commentator. I don't enjoy anything. Uh, I don't experience pleasure. Anhedonia. Like I said, yeah, the Israeli settlers, they're having the kids. Yeah, and where do they live? Do they live in a mansion? Do they live in a mansion with a tennis court? No, they live in a fucking rundown trailer on cinder blocks. Oh, but you're a white trash. You're a redneck. You're a redneck if you live in a trailer in America. Oh, really? A trailer for 12,000 bucks? Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Uh, yeah. Those hilltop people, the settlers, they have They have a lot of kids, and nobody seems to bring them down. Nobody seems to make them feel like they're failures as a parent for, living off of. And there's some contention in Israel. They don't have to serve in the military and the IDF. They get a religious exemption. They mooch off of welfare because they have like fucking 9 kids. And then the secular Israelis don't like having to pay for it. Well, I guarantee you, those Hasidic Jewish fathers don't feel like a failure because they get food stamps. The same thing for the Hasidic Jewish community in New York City. Those Jewish parents do not feel like a failure because they sit around all day studying the Torah and they get free stuff. They get free housing and they get free food stamps. They feel like they are a fantastic parent because they are teaching, indoctrinating, whatever you want to call it, their children, and they're having a lot of children. Um, So yeah, I mean that's the thing about somebody mentioned some. I don't know if it was in jest, some huge number to retire on, or what you would need to provide for a family, millions of dollars. No, 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 no. I mean, like I said, these hilltop people, they have even shittier trailers than what you have in America in trailer parks. I mean, the trailers in American trailer parks look posh by comparison. These things were up on cinder blocks, had like 2 windows in them. Um, like in the what is it in the not the Gaz not the West Bank, the West Bank. Yeah, these settlers, they live in some fucking looks like a shipping container, and oh, those Ashkenazi Jews, they have a 200 IQ. But if you're a white person and you live in a trailer, you're a dumb redneck hillbilly cousin fucker. Oh, okay, okay. So both the most gifted, profoundly intelligent, and the least intelligent, incestuous groups of people, they both take to trailer parks. They both see the financial sense behind trailer living. Or it could be both groups don't give a fuck what others think of them. It could be that. Somebody says, I love my job. That's why I'm happier than you. Find a job you love. You'll never work a day in your life. Well, I tell you what, if high school girls volleyball team needs a coach, I take that job. I take that job. Or if high school cheerleading team squad needed a male coach, I would take that job. And I think you're right on that. I would be happy with such a job. You got it. Unfortunately, I don't think they're hiring at the moment. Yes, that's correct. So after all of the years of advanced courses, your grand plan is to be a bum. That is, yes, succinctly to encapsulate it. Um, 28, well, I don't know when you want to consider you start school. You start school at pre-K, right? More than 25 years, more than 25 years of education. And yes, the culmination of all of that is to become a bum. Yes, basically. Um, doesn't mean you're begging for quarters on the street. It just means you're not doing anything, so to speak, with what you learned. You're not being productive. But again, why are you trying to be productive for others? That is what the state wants. That is what they want, their return on investment, so to speak. They want you to help make some crippled retard drooling baby able to communicate with some Fisher Price light bright, speak and spell. Okay, that's what they want you to do with your big white noggin, your big white brain. Okay, you spent all of these years, right, acquiring knowledge and expertise. You got to put it to use, buddy. You got to be of use to society. Okay, society shits all over you. Government comes up with new ways to fuck you over and destroy your life and make you miserable, right? But you're going to put all of that expertise that you've acquired over the years, you're going to put it to use for special books by special kids, so that all of the esoteric wisdom locked up inside those retard brains, we can finally have access to that fountainhead of knowledge. Yes, but you're basically correct. After all of those years, the grand plan is to be a bum. Well, I mean, to live for yourself, do what you want with ample free time. If if that's what it means to be a bum, then call me Boxcar Willie. Yeah, I should become a fire jumper and save beaner babies. Yeah, I'd be like jump parachuting into the forest fire, and I come out with the mamacita, carrying the mamacita who's carrying the little beaner baby. Score one for the good guys. Let's see here. Going through these comments here. I should do more videos with Mr. Bean, huh? Yeah, Mr. Bean. No, I don't need a good sunburn. I should that New York Times Asian writer was right. White people are suited for being subterranean goblins. I wasn't not the groveling part, but the underground goblin part was pretty spot on, I thought. Yeah, I don't know how much you can change things. You could, I mean, handing out flyers, you people mock it, but like I said, there's something to be said for getting out there in meat space and interacting with people who would otherwise never come across this content. They have no reason to think they're being lied to or duped or brainwashed. So, those people, unless you physically reach out to them, they're they're not aware there's a problem. So, and part of it is what you travel around like a fucking, uh, just traveling around, whatever, why not? Doing this is okay, but something to be said, like I said, for actually going out there. I don't know how much you can change, though. Yeah. Palliative care pays $250,000 per year with no risk. Somebody says, uh, referring to occupational pursuits. Yeah, but it would be very depressing. I mean, palliative care is end of life care. People usually like to be in the newborn uh, section of the hospital because you get to see the newborn babies. Um, so you're seeing people at the start of their lives. Palliative care is seeing people at the end of their lives, and it's never pretty. I mean, with babies, they're usually, I guess, healthy. There's not much, they're healthy at the start. Palliative care is terminal cases. It's not, you would need to be, I don't know how you would do that. Maybe if you had your own life and your own family, you could do it because it's sort of an island from all of that misery. But I would not recommend it for people who are already unhappy because you will never see anything happy at work. It will be misery every day. Um, let's see. Like I said, I didn't have really anything new to say in this talk. It's just some regurgitation, but I wanted to do this anyway. I needed a break. No, I wouldn't be happy if I made six figures and lived in a modest home, because this job is going to consume you. Okay, it's not a job like a pay, and even if it were a 9 to 5, you can't get away. You can't ever get away. You're fucking tied. You might as well be fucking shackled to that desk. Like I said, you may make that money. You may make good money, but you get what, 1 week of vacation to start, and then after 5 years. I mean, I know these things. Okay, okay, after 5 years at such and such a company, you make 2 weeks of vacation, meaning you can't ever disconnect. You can't have a sabbatical. You can't just, even if you're doing something very cheaply. You're not costing anybody anything. That job's not going to be held for you. You know what I mean? So you may make good money, but the problem is you have no free time. You may have time after work if you're not tired, but you're never able to disconnect. You're always shackled. And that's the thing. The more successful you get, the higher up you climb, the more essential you are, the more critical you are, the less free time you have, the less uh, you can disappear for an extended period of time. The more critical and essential your role is, okay, you rise up vice president, president. Well, you can't just disappear. I mean, you're going to be checking your email on the shitter. I mean, people need answers from you. If you make yourself indisposable, um, you're never going to be able to say, "Look, I'm out of touch for the next month." That's not going to happen. So the more successful you are, whether that's academia or the corporate world or whatever, government, um, you're responsible for answering people's subordinates questions, approving things, etc. You can't just go AWOL. You can't go AWOL, and that's what freedom means, right? The ability to disconnect and do things when you want to do them. Yeah, being a bum means not being a slave to strangers. True. There's something to be said to have a job with a very little responsibility. Um, low stress. Being a bag boy, something like that. You stock shelves. It isn't high pressure. It isn't, you know, causing you high blood pressure, etc. Something to be said. Yeah, again. Oh, so the summation, the totality of all of this knowledge is that you don't what? That I don't do what with it. We were never going to spread out as a diaspora into space. It was always just going to be helping the drooling retards hit the yes button on their speak and spell. That was all it was ever going to be. Okay, nobody's going to unlock the cure to aging here. Everybody that got their 50 years or their 60 years, and that's it. Okay, pretty much makes no difference whether you eat organic every day or you go and eat Popeye's chicken. Okay, you would think that there would be a world of difference between those two diets, but there isn't. Okay, you could eat fucking kale and spinach every day, and what? You get a couple more years than the fat bastard who eats Popeyes every day. Okay, it's kind of a, let's see here. Let's see. But perhaps when I do move my ass to the Midwest, I'll do some videos there. Probably about how I can do things in a minimal fashion. When it comes to rent, housing, food, etc. I think that might be a bit of a step in the right direction instead of kvetching and complaining. That isn't really helping anybody, but showing how I can get by on how little, um, you know, because you don't have to be sleeping in a cardboard box. I mean, you can do things very, very cheaply. But I think that might be, just how to pass your time, which is, again, it's for all of this professional success and accomplishment, and you have this weird realization, wow, I don't have any memories post, age 17 or so. I really don't. Like, no memories. It's just you could take a photo a day and it's me sitting at a desk or type, working on some paper. Um, that's it. Yeah, photo a day. Just getting. It's just that's it. No memories. No, oh, remember the time we did this? Remember the time we did that? No, memories kind of stop. Circa 2003 or four. So I don't know, 2005. He had a couple memories after that with some females, but that's about it. As far as the formative years, the fun stopped a long time ago. The happiness stopped a long time ago. Um, let's see here. You all know where you're currently living. Uh-oh. You sending the drones after me? Uh, got those Yiddish words down. Join the army. Yeah, I gotta fight I gotta fight for greater Israel. We have to fight to expand the borders. Okay, those settlers, those hilltop people, it's getting mighty crowded in those trailer parks. We need more territory in the Sinai, and we need the Golan Heights. We need to expand. We need to take over all of Iraq. We need to push the borders of greater Israel. Um, Shlomo needs to have 15 children, uh, instead of 8. Um, anyway, I think that's a long enough rant. Again, there was not much new here. I've said everything, schlubby hubby theory, etc. Women are not going for these successful men. They're not, okay? Successful in any sense of the term. The zeitgeist of the age is that women run the world. Women are number one. Women are in charge. Women can do anything a man can do, but better. Um, they're more intelligent, they're more capable, more competent, more empathetic, more. They earn more money. They don't need any money. They can do it all on their own. They're more. They can lift more. They can squat more. They can deadlift more. That's why you see this female obsession with fitness. Okay, that's why you see this female obsession with fitness. It's not that they're projecting their values and they secretly hope some gym hunk uh, picks them up or starts talking to them. No, no, no. They want those virtues or those characteristics for themselves. Okay, they aren't projecting. They just want those traits for themselves. A successful woman doesn't want to be made to feel like uh, dog shit scraped off somebody's shoe because she thought she was something. She thought she was hot shit. And then, oh, this guy shows up and he's way more successful, earns way more money, is way more fit than she is. Well, she's going to feel like she tried. She tried her best and she's a fucking failure by comparison and by those standards. So, no, I think women want a man who will make her feel better about herself. Um, you know, he's a schlub and she works out. She's fitter. He's got his two year degree. She's got her master's. He's got a bachelor's. She's got her law degree. That's what a woman wants. She wants to be the principal breadwinner. Um, these women are not seeking out men who will, like I said, you know, cast a shadow over them. That's not the message nowadays. Um, no, women are not attracted to self-absorbed, obsessive types, who are sitting up all night writing poetry or playing songs on their guitar. Okay, like some rock star from the '70s. That's just showing that he's putting something else. He's putting himself or his interest first, and she's an afterthought, and that doesn't fly, people. So no, I'm not seeing any of these super studs getting the women. I see the potato faces, the soy boys, whatever you want to call them, the bug men, the ugly people, the ugly schlubs. Okay, they're the ones. So far as I ever do see Western couples, that's how I see the dynamic playing out. I do not see uh, the Ubermensch, Duke Nukem types with five women hanging on him. Like no, 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 no. It's some usually mystery meat, Asian, Paki, Indian, Mocolado, soft, short, timid guy who just kind of stands there. He's not the life of the party. He's just kind of being led around, and that's what I see. That is what I see. Um, I hit the gym for stress. It's a good outlet for stress for me. Yeah, women do. They run shit now. Yeah. Uh, and that's why I also say do not think that the future is anything. The future is not going to be anything great. It's not going to be this future that people were picturing, like the Jetsons. This future, the future as presented in 1950s and 1960s. That's not what it's going to be like. It's going to be a pretty bleak future. Um, there won't be any innovation. There won't be any of these wonderful new technologies. You're not going to be living to be 500. It's going to be a pretty bleak future. Nothing really uplifting. Okay, you're not going to be seeing colonies on the moon. You're not going to be seeing discoveries. You're not going to be doing that. We're not exploring space. We're not exploring the depths of the ocean. It's going to be pretty bleak. Okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a new dark age, especially. I mean, you push men out from STEM. You have women coming to you push women into STEM. You push out those who are good at it, who are capable, and like I said, it's going to make for a pretty bleak future. Um, yeah, I'm sorry I can't be more positive, but I don't see. I think the best you can do is disconnect, live minimally, work as little as possible, contribute as little as possible, and just do things. Experience things locally, do things, get out in the wild. Whatever you enjoy doing, do that. If you enjoy reading, do that. If you enjoy music, just do that. Inexpensive things. And disconnect from all of the news, disconnect from all of the fabricated drama, the fabricated, uh, what is it, the fabricated political infighting, all of this stuff is just, it's all, the whole world's a stage, right? It's just theater, it's just pageantry. None of it's real. Um, Not much you can change. I mean, I can report on when I do move, and if I decide to be the weirdo with flyers, we can see. But I don't know how much you can change, but uh, I don't suggest, oh yeah, just pursue higher education, pursue this, pursue that. No, you're going to be wasting your life for what? For the opportunity to for the opportunity to serve lesser people. I mean, that's what you're going to end up doing. You're going to take that big old noggin of yours, your big old swollen noggin, and you're going to be using that to help lesser people or people who hate you. I don't think so. Um, yep, a psychedelic trip is the cheapest type of travel I know. Yeah, and I think that's why we won't see widespread legalization of pot. To my knowledge, it's still only Colorado. all of these other states are dragging their feet, because you're not a good consumer. You can take for a couple bucks, you can take a trip instead of in your mind rather than spending thousands of dollars on some cruise or some vacation. Uh, yeah, well, it would have been okay with Musk smoking weed, but he had this weird devil face on, or this weird. It looked like his face was being contorted by thousands of demons on the inside. It was I don't I hope no. It was a very weird face he made. Um, and everybody's trying to unravel what he said on that show like it was some profound stuff. I think he has fetal alcohol syndrome. I think that's where it begins and ends. I mean, you look at the shape and size of his hands and his face. He's like kind of the poster child, or he could be, for fetal alcohol syndrome. Very tiny, tiny hands, tiny fingers. Looks like the hand of a 4-year-old girl. Um, Kind of weird Asiatic eyes. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a touch of, fetal alcohol syndrome. But anyway, that's Saturday night's rant, and I'm out of here.